Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of High Energy Girl. And today we have Sharon Niemi, who is an Ayurvedic specialist. She's going to talk about anti-aging, permanent weight loss, longevity, cleansing, and all kinds of fun stuff. So I can't wait for you to meet her. So let's go and say hello to Sharon. Hey everyone, welcome to High Energy Girl, a podcast helping women to age stronger because it is never too late to get fit, be strong, and feel sexy. I'm your host, Tracy Gluhite, health coach and personal trainer and founder of highenergygirl.com. Each week, we will either have a guest interview, which will provide you encouragement or an actionable tip to help you age stronger, or I will do a solo episode. Please also join our awesome Facebook group called High Energy Girls, and I'm looking forward to see you on the inside of that group and hope you enjoy today's show. Hey everyone, this is Tracy, and I have a special announcement. In order for me to help more women age stronger, I have created a 90-day one-on-one coaching program. And the goal here is to teach women over 50 how to age stronger while burning fat and boosting energy without going hungry or living in the gym. If you'd like more information, please hit me up at tracy@highenergygirl.com or friend me on Facebook and send me a message. I have a goal of transforming 1,000 women in the next year, and I hope you are one of them. Hey, Sharon, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks, Tracy. I'm just so glad to be here. Excited to be speaking with you and everyone.
Well, for the listeners that don't know you yet, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. So there's of course, the professional side of me and the personal side of me. So I'll start with the personal side and it will weave in, right? So I am from central Massachusetts, north central Massachusetts, and I grew up just surrounded by nature and always outside, always in awe of what she was showing, and doing. So my grandfather even dubbed me his little nature girl, so always enthralled with her. And so anyway, I had a really great childhood and I considered myself healthy. Even though I struggled with my weight, and I grew up in the time where super skinny supermodels were the thing. So it was, I was struggling with my weight constantly, but I was, healthy and it all seemed normal. And I followed Western advice. And when I got sick, my mother was an RN, so she was bringing me to the doctors, and it was, what caused what was wrong with you? Let's just look at what those symptoms are and relieve the symptoms, never getting at cause, right? Always that. But so anyway, I just thought I was healthy. I was just going with the flow. I joined corporate America and I was, moving and grooving, and it was a female in a male-dominated technology world, and had to get married, all the normal family things, but still climbing the corporate ladder. And I was doing my thing, and all of a sudden, I hit my mid-40s, and that's when my weight became a real big issue. I was 70 pounds overweight. My health became a big issue. Up to that point, I had no medications, nothing, just normal. But anyway, I had A1C problems. I was pre-diabetic. I had high cholesterol levels. I had blood pressure off the charts. I had 10 allergies. I knew I was facing menopause, and it was scaring the hell out of me. So my doctors were just telling me it's normal aging, suck it up, deal with it. My family's telling me it's all in our family genes, and, look around you. Everybody around us is big and has these issues. So, and there was something inside of me because of my nature, my connection to Mother Nature. I just knew something wasn't right and I wasn't going to take it. So I went on a mission in my mid 40s to find out what I could do to get myself healthy. And I tried all different kinds of natural approaches because that's where I thought I needed to go. And I stumbled into Ayurveda. And so I was just so enthralled with it. I dove into it for 4 academic years of study. And while I was studying, there was no other intent for me to use this except to get myself healthy. So I was applying all the practices, and Ayurveda is a natural, holistic, the first healthcare system known, 5,000-year-old system. It's the forerunner to Chinese medicine, and it's the sister science to yoga. But it was so forgotten because of the English rule in India that was really suppressed until the 40s when Ayurveda became more and more popular. So I found it when I was in my mid and late 40s, and just so immersed myself into it. And even though I was still working the corporate crazy hours, I was at a VP level at that time, boardrooms, blah, blah, blah. I was still studying, and anybody who would listen to me, who wanted to try it along with me, I would show it to them. So I have been practicing now for 15 years, Ayurveda, kicked out of corporate America 3 years ago. And I had been dabbling in a business, Stretchy Sister, while I was studying and stuff. And so now for the last 3 years, I am just head on into helping people understand Ayurveda and the amazing results that you can get by practicing some of what she has to offer, all tied to Mother Nature and living life naturally and within her rhythms.
So when you say she, do you mean like Gaia, Mother Earth, or is there something else you're referring to?
Yeah, so Ayurveda is born out of the Samkhya philosophy, and it all comes from the area of everything is universal cosmic consciousness. And there's 2 major energies that make up the cosmos. There's Purusha, which is the male energy, and that's just silent observation and awareness. So silence, stillness. And then there's Prakruti, who is the female energy. And she is the one behind creation, Mother Nature. So it says when she dances for Purusha, that's when creation is born. So she has 3 inherent qualities. She's Rajas, which is moving. She's Tamas, which is decaying. And then she's also building. She's pranic, right? So without all these 3 energies, using these 3 energies, she creates in a succession of 24 objects. And I just won't go into the 24 objects, but it's from mind to matter. And the last 5 creations of hers are the Mahabhutas. So the earth, the air, the wind, ether, fire, and water. And so that's how she builds that's Mother Nature, primordial Mother Nature. So that's why I refer it to she and her. And we're her. We're made up of all these 5 elemental Mahabhutas. And that is really the heart of Ayurveda, is looking at your elemental constitution, which is in everything around us, not just us, right? Even the seasons, the animals, the plants, everything. So Ayurveda is all about balance and aligning to her creation.
That is just beautiful. I I am familiar with Ayurveda. I'm a yoga instructor. We didn't really dabble with it, but I did take a class a long time ago from a fellow yoga instructor that she basically talked about the Pitta, Vata, and Kapha. Is that the third one?
Kapha, yeah, correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are our three doshas, and they're made up of the five elemental energies, the Mahabhutas. So Vata are predominantly ether and air. Pitta is predominantly fire and water, and Kapha is predominantly water and earth.
Which one are you primarily?
So I am primarily Pitta with high Vata. And because I am in my Vata stage of life, I would consider myself Vata. So and I live in a Vata environment. I'm up here in Idaho in the high mountains. So I have a lot of ether and air coming at me. And so I need to learn to balance more my kapha and because I'm Pitta, not so much, but my kapha mostly.
Okay. I think I'm kind of like you. I'm primarily Pitta and but I do like the whole nature and hiking and being, taking deep breaths and all that. So I have a little bit of the Vata. So no kapha, I don't think, because that's the cold, wet, damp. Is that right? Is that what I
Yes,
remember that correctly?
dense, heavy, oily, unctuous. That is those kapha qualities. The pitta qualities are you're fiery, you're out to conquer the world. You may have a short temper, you get angry more than afraid or anxious when something is coming your way and you can't control it. And Vata is I call them my hummingbirds. They're all over the place. They love to, mind's always going, always chattering, light, airy. Those are your thinkers, right? And that's all aligned actually to your chakras as well. So your bottom chakras are your heavier chakras. Your center is your fiery pitta center, and all your upper chakras are your air chakras. So the heavier, the transformative, and the lightened.
So when you said you had 4 academic years of studying Ayurveda, where did you study exactly?
So my first 2 years were out of the Rishi Center out of Newport, Rhode Island. And I was, like I said, I was on a mission, and I went to a weekend event and just to learn a little bit about Ayurveda. And I found out that they were running a small group through Ayurvedic training. And the Swami who was running it was actually taught Sanskrit at this place that I went to learn about it for the weekend. So I just jumped in and I went down to Newport, Rhode Island, and there was 12 of us. For every other weekend, it was 4 days. And we went to this beautiful home down in Newport, Rhode Island, and actually sat at the feet of the Swami. And it was a great experience because I didn't even know how to spell Sanskrit. Never mind. And I had a lot of yoga teachers around me. And so it was very personalized. And I just absorbed that for a couple of years. And then I realized that I wasn't in a place where I was going to get a recognized degree. So I jumped into 2 more years of study at Kripalu, which is was an ashram in the Berkshires of Western Massachusetts. And it was the same type of format. Every other weekend we went in for 2 years, and they brought in different instructors every month to teach us a different subject. And so I graduated with my Ayurvedic wellness counseling practitioner certification.
Wow, that is something. That is super cool. I would love that. So then so you finished your education after 4 years. So you're in your mid to late 40s at that time?
I was in my early 50s. right? I was in my early 50s and I got married again, right, shortly after that, built a house out here in Idaho. I was still corporate America. I was still like on high. I was still pitta. But I was still able to lose the 70 pounds, get my A1C levels back in check, cholesterol levels gone, high blood pressure gone, my allergies, all 10 except for one with a minor still. I still had some allergies to gold. But other than that, my skin cleared up everything. And my doctors just would look at me. Not one of them just kept saying, well, they all said, just keep doing what you're doing. Not one of them asked me, what are you doing?
Of course. What were you doing?
I was
I'm going to
Ayurveda.
ask.
Yeah, I was Ayurveda. I was just changing my diet according to my body type. I was doing dinacharya, which is daily routine. And I was doing ritacharya, which is seasonal routines, cleansing, eating toward the seasons, taking care of your body for if you see an imbalance, taking care of it with food, herbs, and lifestyle choices. And it was not an overnight thing, which doesn't appeal to so many people, right? It was a gradual change and transformation over 4 to 5 years. I mean, because I was applying all the different things around me while I was in school, it didn't give me the effect until I stood back and I said, okay, I'm going to use my quality engineering background here. There's a law called the law of the vital few, and that's 20% of the things that you do give you 80% of your results.
Yeah, I believe that.
The other 80% of the things you do only give you the 20% of your results. So I'm like, I have no time to do anything. I need to figure out what it is that 20% is that's going to give me that 80%. And so that was the daily finding out my body type, getting my digestion, my tejas kicked in, getting rid of the parasites that I had. That was something else I forgot to mention. That was part of this journey. I had parasites, got rid of the parasites, and then went into dinacharya, right? So seasonal, fix the imbalance. Then I went into daily and seasonal routines according to the priority ones, according to Ayurveda. That's what I was doing. And meditation. I was starting to study self-realization with self-realization fellowship. So I started becoming ready to become a Kriya Bond. So now I'm now a practitioner in Kriya Bond. So it just all, again, it's building the momentum, building in something different and an improvement every so often, right? And all of a sudden you've got momentum. And I'll be 66 in 2 weeks. And I feel better and healthier and more vibrant than I did at 43, 44.
Wow, that's awesome. You look great, by the way. When's your birthday?
November 5th.
Okay, I'm the 10th.
Scorpio, yeah. So we've got that heat going on too, right?
Yeah, I'm married to a Scorpio too. His is the 30th of October. So
yeah. So yeah. And so that's, how I did it. And the doctors never asked me, what are you doing?
So what is a day in your life? Well, first of all, let me just say that of course they don't, because if you're not popping pills for symptoms, they don't care. I mean, I have a new client who she sent me over her cholesterol stuff and her blood pressure stuff. Her cholesterol and blood pressure are good, but her doctor wants her on she's on a statin and 2 blood pressure meds just in case. And I looked at her stuff. I'm like, this just doesn't make sense to me. The only thing she does have is is high A1C. So we'll work on that. But I'm just like, I just don't get it that they put people on all these medications that don't need it. My mom's doctor, thank God, she has cognitive decline, whatever else. I can't remember what he said. But her memory's going, and it's not dementia or Alzheimer's. But he's like, thank God, this new doctor, he's like, I think she's on too much medication. Let's start weaning her off. And I'm like, okay, I love you. Anyways, I digress. But so you go to the doctor, so you change in your life. What would you do? Like specifically for, like, say you're Pita, that's what I am. If you were to advise somebody that's just wanting to learn about this and get, take the first few steps, like what's a day in your life look like?
No, it's so different. Now, right, I'm in the middle of a cleanse. So, because for the last 3 months, I had not been very good. I was mindless eating. I was doing business caught me, right? So I recognized the fact that it's fall. It's time to cleanse, and so for a normal day for me is light breakfast, heavier lunch, and we in Ayurveda says you should have your heaviest meal between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. when Pitta is at its peak and our digestive enzymes are waiting to do their job, right? So you want to fill the food, your plate pretty heavily on at noon, and then another light meal at night, and at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed. Mm-hmm. So that's my eating cycle. First thing in the morning, a glass of warm water, maybe with some lemon, depending on what's going on, always to clear what the body's done overnight, which is it's house cleaning duties, right? It's scraping and supposed to be doing its thing overnight and not digesting food. That's why you shouldn't be eating so late at night. It's gonna want to clean up. And so the water and the lemon help flush the toxins. Then I do an hour meditation.
Wow.
Well, it's a series, including yoga, right? So it's some movement, it's anyway. So I spend an hour on myself in the morning, and I see it as not completely sitting there, om, 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 right? It's the body doesn't know if it's real or not, whatever's going on in the mind. So I start my day by getting my mind to think positive, happy, a successful day, connect to the divine. I love life. Thank you for having me. Get that feeling and wake up going, bring it on. What do you got for me today?
I love it.
And then go into the physical aspect of it, breakfast, because you want to feed, the fire's ready, right? You want to, the Tejas is ready to digest, so you want to feed that. Then have, your productive day, your good lunch, take time to make sure after you eat that you give yourself time to relax and let it digest. Then you should be able to have a productive afternoon. And my productive afternoon usually goes to 5, 6, 8 lately. So yeah, it's pretty good to have that cycle. And it's not saying I'm going to have oatmeal or I'm going to have this or that. It's what your body needs for the season, for the imbalance. There's no one diet plan for any prescription in Ayurveda.
It's interesting. I just remembered something. So my friend that I took that Ayurveda class, she also studied Chinese medicine. There's a school, Mount Madonna, that's not too far from here. And I love salad. It's like my favorite food. And I live in California, so we have abundance of vegetables and stuff. And I was eating salad year round. And in the summer or in the winter, I was still eating salad and I kept getting canker sores. And she says, you've got to stop eating salad. You need warming foods in the winter.
Mhm.
So I switched
I'm
to
just
like,
sitting,
yeah.
yeah.
So I'm sure you've learned all that,
No,
right?
I'm sitting here smiling, going, yeah, that's some of the big problem, right? You're trying to lose weight. You know, I'll just eat salad. Then that will get the weight off of me. And it's great in the summer, in the spring, in the summer, because you need the cleansing, you need the scraping, you need the cooling to keep the body balanced from the heat of the summer. But bring those ether and air foods into an ether and air season, fall and winter, it just like your body just starts screaming. You know, I've had enough of that. I don't need that anymore. What I need is I'm supposed to hibernate, right? I'm supposed to come slow down in the winter. I'm supposed to warm, right? It's all the warmth and building that you need in the winter. So yeah.
Yeah. So I had to change that. And then last winter, I didn't get any canker sores. So it worked.
Love it. Love it.
So I know that you're an expert in longevity and weight loss. So for the audience, will you just tell them a little bit about your experience with that and some things that they can do to get started on that, journey to improve their lives?
Oh, beautiful. This is wonderful. So because I came out of corporate America and the women who were asking me for their help, I couldn't speak Ayurveda to them and get them to understand or to really embrace it or be interested. And I never pushed. It was always, are you interested? I'll help. So I had to come up with a way to storytell it into how they could make sense out of it. So, and then apply it, because the power is in the application.
Sure.
Right? So, um, so Ayurveda, when it looks at aging, and I don't want to say aging, when we look at the body growing old and we look at excess weight on a body, it's only an indication that there's something going wrong with your flow of energy. So there is stagnation in the body. And it's not mass that creates energy, it's energy that creates mass. So when we look at the stagnation, it could be a mass, it could be unctuous stuff that's going on in the body, but it's all because of an energetic issue. So we look to break the stagnation. And once you break the stagnation, once you get the body to flow as it should, then the indicators that you see, the excess weight, the dry skin, the wrinkles, the aging, anything associated, disease, age-related disease association starts to reverse, because now you've cleared the blockage and now the body can come back to homeostasis. It's all about getting the body back into balance. If it's out of balance, that's when the disease and the aging, the growing old, and the weight, anything else associated. So there's three things that you need to look at to break stagnation: your inputs, your processing, and your outputs. So your inputs would be not just what you consume, and that's a big piece of it. Eat toward to your body type. That's very sattvic. That's what you should be doing. Look, first thing ever is look what your constitution is, and then find out what foods are supposed to best fuel you and which ones aggravate you, and eat that way. But there's also, we've got five senses, right? What are you listening to? What are you watching? Who are you hanging out with? What are you touching around you? What are you wearing? And what are you smelling, right? So if you're in some toxic environment, you're breathing in toxins, right? So if you're putting toxin stuff on your skin, all those chemicals are getting in your body. So all your inputs need to be really looked at. That's the first thing. You got to look at the quality of your inputs. Then the next thing is the quality of how your system is working. And the biggest thing in Ayurveda is your digestion. The other systems that I will always look at specifically is the lymphatic system. How stagnant is that? Because that doesn't pump itself. You have to work it for it. And anything else that the client or whoever I'm looking at comes to me, I will look at how well their systems are functioning. And then, so what's the quality of that? So the quality of your input, plus the quality of how your body is functioning, plus how well your body is able to eliminate the toxins and the waste that it doesn't need. So there's not just our bowels and urine, there's our sweat, there is, when there's ama in the system, it also comes out through your bones, women menstruation, your skin, so the body has to open and release, and our emotions. That's the other thing. Emotionally, we hold on, especially I know so many women who the guilt, the anxiety, the I'm not good enough, we're still holding on to that, right? If you don't release, that's a channel. You got to let that go. So if you're not able to release all the stuff that you're putting in, then the body is going to stagnate, right? Any one of those stations, your input, your processor, your output, any one of those are compromised, stagnation is going to occur, aging, weight gain, all those things are a result if you don't watch the quality of those three things.
Wow.
So
that's so interesting. I mean, like to look at it that way, you know what I mean? And so one of the things, like, what about breath work? Because you said about like eliminating toxins and lymphatic.
Yep, that's the breath work is one of the elimination channels, right? So I could, there's so many more that Ayurveda recognizes as elimination. And of course, breath work in pranayama is one of the primary ways to release toxins and emotions from the body.
So is that part of your morning hour? Do you do breath work with your meditation and yoga stuff?
We do, yes. We do. Kriya is pranayama and using the breath to pull the attention up to the higher chakras.
So is your routine something that you do the same thing every morning, or do you just kind of vary it depending on how you feel?
I vary it depending on how I feel. I do, when it's strictly a Kriya morning, and we do Kriya every day, but if it's part of my morning routine, it is just a half an hour sitting there, like a hong saw breath. It's almost like the breath of the dying, right? It's a very slow and rhythmic breathing technique with pauses at the height and a pause at the end before you inhale again, right? And again, it's to bring the concentration and the energy. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So it's to bring your attention to the higher centers. There are some mornings I do blessings of the chakras, and it's a meditation and it's by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it's where you spend specific time at each chakra point and intend it into wholeness, attend it into alignment, because it's about connecting the heart to the brain, the heart to the mind. And because we're electromagnetic and our thoughts are what go out, but it's our heart that draws it to us. And so you could be sitting there all day going, I need my health, I need to be abundant, I need to be in a relationship. But if your heart's sitting there going, I'm lonely, I'm I don't have enough money, all that stuff, it's not going to come to you.
Mhm.
So it's all about connecting the bottom to the top. And so that's another meditation I often do.
And you said we do Kriya in the morning. Do you do this with a group, or who's we?
Yeah. So Self-Realization Fellowship has throughout the day, and I'm so thankful. We used to have to go find a temple somewhere. But Self-Realization now has online meditation group, and they run hourly meditation sessions throughout the day. And they often have monks come in and run sessions or have special talks, and it's all online now. I just think that's fantastic. So when I say we, that's what I mean. I often join a meditation group online at 6 o'clock here.
Now, do you also have clients that you help through all these processes?
Yes, I do. So I've been, like I said, for going through school, I had like the pseudo company and Stretchy Sister, and I would help people along the way. And again, it was early days, hit and miss. We had a lot of laughs with some of the folks that I was with. I made a vinegar deodorant, and she said she walked around the office smelling like a salad all day. All kinds of stuff like that. But anyway, so when I got laid off for the third time out of corporate America 3 years ago, I said, that's it. I tried for 6 months to get back in. And I said, oh no, the universe is telling me you're out of here, because I couldn't even get an interview. Never happened in my 43-year IT career. I had jobs before I went on to the next, or if I was laid off, it wasn't for long. So I just decided I'm taking my voice and this practice out to the world. And I have corporate training background. I taught at a university. I taught quality engineering. So I have this other side to my skill set. I said, I'm just going to start teaching Ayurveda, but more experiential learning of Ayurveda. And so doing Ayurvedic wellness profiles and a roadmap to building Ayurveda into their life as much as they want. It's not an all or nothing thing. It's the 20%, right? It's the 20%. So I do that. I have a couple programs, specifically one for cleansing every fall and spring. And then that's permanent. I call it permanent weight loss with Ayurveda, because most of the women who have come to me, what do you need? What do you want to get out of this cleanse? And more than likely, it's weight loss. So I just say, okay, you're going to get rid of it forever. So, and then the ageless living method, where for 6 weeks, I work with a client to really help them build the practices into their daily life. So we do the road. Of course, we always do the profile, how quickly you're aging, the velocity test, and then building that roadmap for at least 12 months for anywhere, I should say, from 3 to 6 months, 3 to 12 months, and then work with them for a 3 to 4 week period of time, actually helping them implement what it is they want. Mm-hmm. And there's weekly training and coaching that goes along with it. So not only here's your roadmap, but let's do it together. Mm-hmm. So that's what I do now, and it's just I'm having a blast. I really am.
Yeah, I bet. That's so fun.
Yeah.
So are most of your clients virtual, or are they local to you?
No, all virtual. When I first started 3 years ago, I live in a very small valley in Idaho. And I figured this was the best place for Ayurveda, and I opened up shop, and I didn't even have enough clients coming through to keep the lights on. Mm-hmm. So, and being from technology background, I just went into using what I knew to put it out there. And that's what I've been doing really for the last 2 years is online coaching.
So do you do mostly groups or individual?
All individual. I say I do group cleansing is because I'll start a group of people off at the same time, but all the one-on-ones, all the sessions are one-on-one sessions. And I've opened up groups for these, and there's not a lot of activity. And I've asked why, and they said, well, talking about my bowels is kind of personal, or you telling me, how to do something personal is something I just don't want to share. So and we're in an age where everything is like for everybody. Having the personalized touch, I'm a healthcare practitioner, right? It's not this group coaching thing that I was drawn to. So I do one-on-one mostly.
Yeah, I have both, and I think they get better results with one-on-one because it's just more custom, and then yeah, I prefer that too. So tell me a little bit about your cleanse.
So the cleansing portion of it is really only 14 to 21 days, depending on how deep somebody wants to take it. So they're really neat.
Only.
The first 2 weeks that I work with someone, it is to, again, where your imbalance is. We know that we're going to do panchakarma, which is 5 actions, but which ones do we need to really focus on? What herbs do you need? What oils do you need? What foods do you need? So it gives them a sense of, oh, it's not starting tomorrow, right? It gives them a sense to, let's work together, let's get you prepared. So that's usually the way the supply chain's working lately, 2.5 weeks before you have all your stuff. But the cleanse, it goes through 3 main phases. One is clean it up, and I talked about your inputs. So looking at the foods that you're eating and all the other things that you're doing, but specifically stay away from hard to digest foods. So your wheats, I should say your glutens, your dairies, your sugars, your processed foods. Some clients come in, they're eating clean. So it's just a reinforcement. Others, it's a shock when you just take out the meat, the dairy, the carbs, and all that stuff. So for a 5 to 7 day, it's clean it up. That's basically what we're focused on. And 3 meals a day, no snacking in between. And there's make sure there's hydration protocols, sipping water, maybe some digestive things, depending again, what is going on with the body. So we work that the first 5 to 7 days. The next 7 days is the heart of the cleanse, and I call it burn, baby, burn. It's where we teach the body to burn fat and to get itself back into a state of homeostasis. So the first thing that we do is we cut out, the first 5 to 7 days is a low fat. You get your fats from avocados and seeds and nuts and that sort of thing. The second phase is no fat. So we go on a more of a restrictive phase, and you give your digestive system, it's going on vacation. When was the last time you gave your system a break, right? And didn't ask it to break up all this stuff that you're throwing in your gut. So it's a 3 meal a day khichdi diet. And khichdi is rice and dal, basically. But you can throw in vegetables, lean meat, whatever that you need. But the basis of the 7 days is to shut the digestive system down, to give it a break so that it can catch up and you can start capturing toxins during the 7 days. So we do a protocol called oleation, where we take the only fat of the day is ghee is, I would say each day we're going to increase the amount of ghee every day. So you start oiling the inside of the body, pulling the toxins into the gut and into the upper and lower intestinal area, so that on the seventh day, we do purgation and we prune juice, Epsom salt, whatever, and it releases the toxins that it's been gathering for that week. Then the third phase, final phase, is to reset the digestion, because you've shut it down for a week. You've said, I need you to do the job that you've been doing. Let's do this cleanup act. And now we have to reset the digestion. So we go back to a low-fat diet, keep it light, at least for 3 days. And then we use herbs and other protocols to kick in the digestive fire. Wow. And that's basically the cleanse. And during that 7 days, it doesn't necessarily have to be just khichdi, but if you're want to go as deep as you can, that's what you would want to do.
Interesting. I would love that. So do you have like a website where people can go to find out more about you and about all your programs and stuff, Sharon?
yourwaywellness.com. That's my company, and everything from there you can find about me, you can find my services and programs, how to get in touch with me, and other learning workshops that I've been doing. You have access to those as well.
Wow, that sounds awesome. Now it's just to find those days between his birthday, my birthday, and Thanksgiving to squeeze that in. Seriously, I'm like, wow, I got to check this out deeper. I mean, I'm really curious as to how that would feel. The thing is that I don't eat rice or dal or any, I'm mostly just vegetables and protein. So that would be kind of a difference for my system personally. But yeah, I'm curious about it. So I can't wait to dig a little bit deeper and see, how that would go.
It's considered the perfect protein. And when you're looking to nourish the babies or the sick, out in India, they always feed them khichdi. And it's basically rice and dal with a whole bunch of different spices, depending on the time of day, that you'd add to it. And I look forward to khichdi week. I really do. And I'm not supposed to start till tomorrow, and I had khichdi last night.
Oh, how funny. Do you have a recipe for it on your website?
Is it on my website? No, it's not. And I could actually put it up there. When people sign up, what do I have up there? I'll make sure I do that right away.
Can they sign up for an email list with you or something like that?
Yes, they can. There's all different options I have some free ebooks, Stop the Clock. I have permanent weight loss ebooks. I have different stuff where they can opt in and get on my mailing list.
Perfect. That is a great way to start. Great way.
Yeah.
So Sharon, I have enjoyed this more than you know. You're a breath of fresh air, and I really am excited to look into what you're teaching. And I'm really suggesting that the audience do the same, because I do know that fall and spring are the best months to do a little cleanse and prepare yourself for the, greater season of winter. So,
and especially as we age, our bodies won't rejuvenate as quickly as they did in our pitta and younger years. So taking the time to do preventive maintenance, and that's the beauty of Ayurveda. They are all about prevention and getting ahead of the curve. And a lot of good seasonal and daily routines that allow us to do that. So thank you. Just so much fun today. Thank you.
Oh, you're such a doll. I love learning. And when I saw your thing about Ayurveda come through, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, this is something there's things that we focus on studying, and there's other things that are the outliers, like the essential oils and By the way, your aura is humongous. Like I have been like kind of mesmerized by looking at your energy, and like I see this like mint green coming off your left side that's really expansive, and then I see like this turquoise coming off of your right side. And I don't know if you noticed me kind of getting lost in that, but whatever you're doing, like your doctor said, is working, keep doing it. So
Thank you. Thank you.
Someday I have an idea. Perhaps, you know, those doctors, they do their little lunches, teach them what you're doing, because I mean, I believe that our world is changing and we are stepping into a new world very, very soon. And modern medicine is going by the wayside, and it's the holistic healers like you, like me, like, you know, other people in our tribes that are going to be helping people instead of poisoning them. So I look forward to, you know, exploring that possibility with you down the road.
Oh, absolutely. You see, all our systems, according to Ayurveda, were into the next yoga, which is an upliftment of mind. And so that means our former systems can't stay intact in this new energy. So that's why you see everything breaking, right? Not just the healthcare, you see the financial systems, the government, the academics, it's all just breaking apart because there's such a high energy coming now upon us. And it's just so great to see that there are people out there waiting to show, shed light on who we really are.
Yes. And it's happening soon. I've been told that we're going to be in a whole different place by Christmas. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that unfolds.
Excellent.
Okay, you guys, she was absolutely awesome. I hope you enjoyed the show. So please head on over to the show notes page and you can get the Kichari recipe that she's talking about at highenergygirl.com/show. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you on the next one. This podcast contains the opinion and thoughts of its host and guests. It is intended to provide helpful and informative material on the subjects covered. All statements made on the podcast have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. If the listener requires professional assistance or advice, please contact your personal medical doctor. Both host and guest specifically disclaim any responsibility for any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence directly or indirectly of the use and application of any of the contents of these episodes. Like I said, this is my opinion and I could be wrong.